Yeah, welcome to the Five Reasons Sports Post Game Show, aka the Post Up. I'm your host, Royal A. Shepherd, and I'm joined today by Brady Hawk and the Greg Sylvander himself. Guys, I'm going to forego my customary speech on the post game show because the world is watching now. Team USA dropped the first of, I guess you would call this pool play. I don't know what to call it, but they dropped the first game to France, 83-76. Before we get into anything deep, I just kind of want to get you guys' general opinion of what you guys saw. So, Greg, we'll start with you. What did you see from the U.S. today?
Your boy not feeling good. Not feeling good, dog. This was a weird game. It was a game of runs. Team USA lacks a point guard. We were chatting about this in the Five Reasons Heat chat. Like, as much as we salivate over Dame Lillard and all these different guys in terms of point guards, like, Drew Holiday played great today. Like, nobody got more than 4 assists on the whole damn team. And Draymond was the guy who got that. Dame, I guess, got 4 as well. But they severely lack somebody, a floor general that can like calm them down and get them organized. And it's just super apparent, particularly when a team's going on a run, that they don't get centered. And I don't know what the hell they're going to do about that between now and when it's no longer pool play and they get eliminated when they lose games.
Yeah, so I think to your point, like you saw how important Drew was. Like he's the closest thing that we have to an actual true point guard, and he was essentially one of the best players on the floor, if not the best player. Like I said, I'm going to forego my customary because maybe Ethan may want to put this on the podcast feed, and I'm not trying to lose you guys money. Brady, tell me what you saw from the game today.
No, I agree with Greg. I think I said earlier in the game, I think they're too reliant on Dame as a facilitator. That's not what he is. He's a scorer, and he's forced into that role. Bam has been, the facilitator at times when he's on the floor on the move, but setting up offense, that's been Dame every time, and I just don't think that's where he thrives. And I think they're too reliant on KD as a scorer. You see when both of them went out in the minutes with Booker and, Drew stepped up there. But if he didn't step up, they don't really have anybody that's stepping up, and they're just running ISOs every time where there's no offense really being run. I think the only time there's offense being run is when Bam's in the game, where they hit him on the roll and he's actually kicking out and they're swinging. Other than that, it's pretty just everybody standing around watching the guy with the ball. And I just don't think that's going to be they're not going to win games like that. Like something's going to have to change. And this wouldn't, been a game if the Bucks didn't win in 6 in the finals. Like this would not even, this wouldn't have been close.
That's not good.
That's not good at all. But to your point, like a lot of that, we were having issues with facilitating, but Bam was doing a good job of finding open guys. They just weren't hitting. I want to kind of get into Bam's game a little bit because he was clearly one of the best players on the floor in the first half offensively, especially when you don't have guys like KD and Dame kind of hitting on all strides. So, Greg, talk to him about Bam's game.
I like what I saw from Bam. I mean, if you just look at the box score, dude got a double-double, kind of basically played Gobert to a draw. And in this kind of format, like playing Gobert to a draw, that sounds in the NBA, we're like, oh, Bam's better than Gobert. But in this format, like he's such a focal point of what France was trying to do. Like I walked away feeling like Bam looked good. I know our friend, clutch NBA Adam Barai was talking about Bam's free throws, and we know he did miss some at the end there, but for the most part, man, like I really liked what I saw. I also like to see that, like, as the game got close towards the end, Bam stayed in. Like I love that they trust him that way. But like the moral victory stuff on this game, like I guess as a Heat broadcast, we could feel good about that. But overall, man, it's just ugly. They shot 31% from 3. And the 3-point line is closer. What are we doing?
Well, part of that is because of, like you were talking about, the way Gobert is able to be effective. There's no 3 seconds in these games, so he can just camp in the paint all game long. And as a result, the U.S. team wasn't attacking the rim in a way like that last possession in particular, where they settled for all those different jump shots. There was a French player on the ground, and Nick Batum was in the paint. But the mindset of Rudy Gobert being there is just kind of like, they didn't attack the rim at all. Brady, I want to throw this to you because what was interesting to me is I think knowing that Gobert was going to be a part of the game kind of influenced the thinking on the starting lineup. They started Draymond and Bam together. Did you like that? Did you think it was just for this game, or did you think that's something that the U.S. wants to do throughout this tournament?
No, I think they're just going to keep changing it. Like I don't think there's going to be one starting lineup. But in the exhibition games, the Draymond Bam lineups were actually really good. Like we've seen the offense hasn't been good overall, but surprisingly, when people think the spacing would be off in those lineups, they were actually creating offense in those lineups because they had two facilitators that were getting guys open. Where I think the offense has a better chance of flowing. Where I think it makes more sense if they go with that starting lineup. At least they can get off jump with a good offense. Because other than that, it's like I said before, it's just not anything flowing. It's just ISOs. And I think that's going to keep coming back to the pop conversation. I think is going to come up eventually, but there were some weird lineups and adjustments that I think were made throughout that game. When they went to two bigs, it felt like you kind of had to go away from the Draymond, Bam lineup and put a scorer in. If they're going to kill you on the block and you don't have any size to match, I feel like you have to go with at least 4 scorers out there and you can try to take advantage of it offensively and take the guy off the dribble. Other than that, I don't know. I just think they're going to have to try to figure out something on the offensive end. And talking about Bam, I think he had a pretty good defensive game. Like that was probably one of his best defensive games so far. He played really good on the perimeter. He was hitting passing lanes. It's just, when Fournier's scoring 28.
Yeah, who's their wing? Who's the stopper on this team? Like, damn, like remember when Fournier goes off like that, you put Kobe on his ass and that's it.
That's the
true now. His ass again. Like, where the hell is that? Like, even as I look around this roster, I mean, we talk about guys like Levine having more defensive chops than we anticipated, or Tatum being good defensively. But obviously Drew Holiday is good defensively, but nobody shut him down. And I feel like there's just the more that we watch this team play, there's no pure point guard. I don't see the wing stopper. And so it's if you're not going to shoot well, if you're going to shoot 36% and 31% from 3, you're not going to win. You know what I mean? You got to have some of that stuff going for you.
And that comment right there is really the issue. Like he said, soft switching. I think that's the reason why there's not that wing stopper, that they're constantly switching. You never have one matchup on a guy. That we talked about it all year with Bam. Now the guy was on the perimeter. They're getting boards against this team with 2 big men like that on down low. That's just going to be problematic. And especially when a guy like Fournier's cooking and he's just going to say, who I want guarding me on this play, it's just going to keep happening.
So I want to kind of get into the rotations a little bit because we're talking about the defensive stoppers and stuff like that. Drew Holiday is supposed to be that. But he just got off a plane last night. So I mean, considering the way that he played today, I want to give him all his credit. Levine and Tatum are not that guy. And Brady, I think you made the point on your timeline where you said there were points in the game where you forgot Levine was on the floor.
Yeah.
What combination of players can the U.S. put out of there just to kind of give us the best of both worlds, offensively and defensively? Either one of you can take. I guess I'll start with Brady.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of similar players where they could throw out those 2 guards that go and score. I don't know what the deal was with Middleton, if that was part of the finals run, the plane and things like that, because I think he could have been helpful in those spots because at least he's a guy that could get to his spots and rise up as we saw him do in the finals. Levine really just, as I said, he's a starter and you just did not really know he was on the floor for many points. And he hit that 1-3 at the end, which was a much needed bucket. But before that, I don't think there was any points where he was actually creating at all or doing anything that he ever does in Chicago. I think Devin gets a pass because of, just coming off of finals of a plane, like you mentioned. Yeah. But I think he'll be able to create a bit more and he'll probably get more minutes as they go forward. And, Jason Tatum, I think, was expected to be that secondary guy for Kevin Durant when he went off the floor. And he's not really been that. I think the attacking is where I'm surprised by. He's settling for too many jumpers where he's capable of taking these guys off the dribble like he does in Boston and getting to the rack, where that's just not happening in these games.
Yeah, so I think a lot of Durant scoring trouble was coming because he was in foul trouble really early. You only get 5 fouls in here, and he had 4 fouls early in the third quarter. Greg, you were about to jump in.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just you asked a really good question. How do you get to that mix of offense and defense? And I think that we look at a roster, the more I look at this, and I guess in hindsight, it's easy to play armchair quarterback on this stuff, but you need specialists to some degree on this roster, like a Duncan Robinson or a real defensive, like a Bruce Bowen type character that that's all he does. And I just don't know that they have guys that are locked into those type of roles. So you essentially have a team that is going to rely on kind of just like just by sheer like virtue of the talent level that they're going to overwhelm their opponent via scoring. And I don't know, like I guess you could throw Drew, KD, Bam, Draymond, and Tatum, like some like hybrid version of the roster all thrown together, but you're still like, if you're not hitting shots, I don't see like how they're going to plug all the holes. And that's just so weird when you look at all the names on this roster and you think about what Miami wants to do with their team. And it just kind of points to the difference in the games here.
Yeah, this team kind of looked like the Heat a little bit when you watch them play. But I for some reason I feel like what you're saying is that we need a player like Jeremy Grant. I think Jeremy Grant is the role player who could potentially come in here and, kind of cause some chaos defensively. Brady, am I crazy? Like, do you think Jeremy Grant could have helped in a situation like this?
Yeah, to an extent, I think they need role players, as you're saying. I don't know how he would have been against this type of team with the two bigs. Like, Greg mentions a specialist. Like, if they could have got a true big that wasn't JaVale McGee.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, who is this? Why do they even have him on? I hate to interrupt you, but like Zach LaVine doesn't know how to be a role player. He doesn't know how to be a role player. Like Duncan Robinson does. So it's like, that's where I just think that they've got too many guys that like don't know how to play a role. They just know how to be featured.
Yeah, boss man, don't get in here with your hat flexing after I've been asking you for a hat for months and you have yet to send it.
Oh, I think this is your hat.
See, bro.
Because I'm a stud.
So Ethan,
backwards.
Ethan, appreciate you for joining us in here. Just give us your overall thoughts on what you were able to catch after finally finding the game.
Yeah. Thanks for the archery. No, I mean I caught the last 7 minutes. So essentially, well, maybe a little bit more than that. I'm with Greg on this, except that they did bring in role players. They just brought in the wrong ones. I don't. Are we really going to see a lot of Keldon Johnson and JaVale McGee when it matters? I mean, for that matter, are we going to see a lot of Jeremy Grant when it matters? They've got Pop's going to play the stars anyway, but I think the bigger points are, one, they don't have a point guard. Dame's an elite player, but he's not really a point guard. And, Drew kind of served the role for them today, but I don't know who else they could have gotten in that capacity. I mean, I know Trae Young wanted to play. I mean, would Trae Young have played down the stretch of that game? Maybe not. I don't know who the USA could have tapped. Maybe Ja Morant has more point guard instincts. But the thing is, like, Evan 48 is used to kind of running that team when he needs to down the stretch of games. He's done that. He's done that for years. They don't have a guy who can do that. I mean, other than a Chris Paul, there aren't a hell of a lot of options there. A couple of things I don't understand because, again, I didn't see earlier in the game. Why was Tatum not playing at all in the fourth?
Because he was terrible.
Yeah, he just couldn't shoot.
He was kind of like spelling Kevin Durant for most of the game and was supposed to come in as that like off the bench scorer. He was not doing that job.
Okay, because all I saw was nobody would attack the basket, and I thought maybe at least Tatum would do that. Like, this passing out on the perimeters and to take a three, that's pretty much all I saw.
Yeah, Dame had a wide open shot when the U.S. was up like 4 points, and it turned into a turnover, and France ended up stealing the ball. What were you about to say, Greg?
Just that I'm looking at this box score. Team USA had 9 turnovers. France had 14. Like Team USA won the turnover battle, and essentially, like, if you look at the rebounding, it was 36 to 42. So that's relatively close. Like, it's literally they couldn't shoot today, and they need to hit shots because they don't have the specialists.
Yeah, they shot 36% from the floor as a team, and that's just not something that you do as a Team USA. So we got Iran coming up next. I don't know if anybody here knows anything about the Iranian team.
Brady's
yeah.
No.
Nobody knows anything much about the Iranian team, so I guess we're focusing on us. What do you expect for the Team USA to do better next game, Greg?
I'm just going to focus on Miami Heat trade rumors for the balance of the summer, and
I like that.
I'm not going to worry about team. No, I just think that they got to at this point. What are they going to do? Right? Like, they got the roster they have. They got to lean on the stars more. I think, like, this is going to sound crazy, and I don't want to sign Bam up for this, but Pop needs to shrink this rotation. And like they got to get into a groove, and then maybe you expand the rotation down later on and in the tournament. But for now, like they got to figure something out. So I think they should shave the rotation to maybe 9 instead of going with, I don't know, however many they played, 11 today.
That's tough. Brady?
But down the stretch, they were only playing. How many were they playing? Like 6?
No, it's true.
Like
I know.
6, 7.
I'm out of answers, y'all. Go Heat.
Brady?
No, I think they got to do something, like I said before, just trying to run more actions than just taking guys off the dribble and settling for open jumpers, or not open jumpers, contested jumpers. He mentioned Jason Tatum trying to be in the game to attack. He hasn't attacked since the first exhibition game. Like, I feel like they have not utilized him the right way at all. He's just like a corner spot up guy, like Akezio Okpala is utilized for Nigeria. It's just weird.
Is Pop washed?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I think they have to do something about that. And I think, like I said, they're not running any actions unless Bam's the one as the roller and running stuff from there. It's just, Damian Lillard forced to do stuff that he shouldn't be doing, and they're going to have to figure something out. I think they're going to have to utilize their 2 guards in a different way. Like, they're just settling for catch and shoot type of shots for like Zach LaVine's, Devin Booker's, where that's not what they're doing in these games in the NBA. They're forcing switches for mismatches, which they're more than capable of doing in these games and taking advantage of them, and that's just not happening.
Is Pop, because I know Jonathan just commented here that Pop is washed as F. Is he washed, or is he just stubborn? Like I don't feel like the game has passed him by. I mean, he got more out of that Spurs team. Let's be honest. That Spurs team shouldn't have been in competition for the play-in this year, probably in the West. Like I don't feel like he's washed. I just feel like he has a certain way of doing things, and he's gonna do them that way. And I don't know necessarily that is the trait you want in an Olympic coach. I feel like Coach K, for whatever you think of Coach K, Coach K has proven over his tenure at Duke that he's flexible. He'll adjust to the players that he's had all kinds of different players, right? At Duke, okay. I mean, he's had obviously their collection of annoying white scorers, and then they've had and then they've had legitimate guys like Zion and Elton Brand, okay, on the interior. I feel like he's always adjusted to his roster. Pop to me feels like he came in here with one way he wants to do things, and he's not gonna deviate. Like I don't know that's the I feel like, honestly, I know this is homerism. I really do feel like Spo would have done a better job.
You beat me to it. Yep.
Right.
Spoke and danced according to the music that's played. To your point, like they need a coach that, and like, so they don't need Pat Riley to coach this team. They need a Spoelstra type.
Right. No, because Pop is a Pat type. Pop's like one of the last Pat types left. Right.
Yeah, but no, I think Jonathan makes a good point. He says that Pop's just not meant to coach this many stars. He can't manage this much talent. He's better on a team with like less talent, and for like to a degree of me believes that. A degree of me believes that. Ethan, we're going to run into a problem with 2 hosts on this show. It's like having 2 point guards. No, it's okay. It's okay. I'll adjust, bro. You could be LeBron. You can take it.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to be.
I'm going to take the ball from you out on the perimeter and just grab it. That's what Dwayne used to want to do to Rio. Just take it.
I'm trying to be humble on streams. We'll talk about this after. But no, do you believe that this is more on Pop or on the players? Because at some point, like we all know that these are NBA stars. To Brady's point, they know what they're capable of doing. And like, is it up to a Kevin Durant to be like, F what this play is? Or Damian Lillard, more specifically, is it up to him to be like, F what this play is? I'm going to do what I know is going to work.
Is that for me? I don't know if I'm supposed to take the ball.
For you. Yes.
I mean, look, I feel like we want them to play in a team context. I mean, that's the thing, but again, a lot of these guys have not really played together. I mean, Drew Holiday came off of a 15-hour flight, after the finals, and was essentially I like that, and essentially was their best.
That's
player
crazy that he thinks you're LeBron
for the stretches of the games that I saw. So I mean, I don't know if you want them to deviate that much. I mean, to me, KD, it wasn't just missing shots; he looked kind of disinterested to me. Like I don't know, they don't. I don't know. Do they all want to be there? I'm not sure. I mean, KD looked kind of to me like he did when they were singing "Happy Birthday" to him, and he was kind of pretending to be amused by it. I don't whether he really wasn't pretending. I guess.
Yeah, it's foul trouble. I think. I saw Adam ask me a question, so I just it was somewhere back in the chat there. He said, "Who's France's point guard?" I don't think that they necessarily like. It's just a different format. That I feel like the chemistry is different there. I'm just answering his question, so I don't think that they necessarily need to rely on a quarterback the same way that this like cobbled together.
Well, Greg, they're core 4 guys. I mean, I've been watching those 4 guys.
They've been there
now for 10 years, like right. I mean, I'm Gobert, Fournier, Nando De Colo, and Batum. Like, and actually, to be honest with you, I know we've talked about Batum. I'm taking over again. Go ahead. Go.
No. Do your thing, boss man. I'll slide back to the end of the road.
I'm used to making the pivot back to Brady after we do this kind of stuff.
Hey, man, the chat knows who to start. We're representing for the world right now. We're putting 5.
No, we're like the USA team. We don't know you and me.
We need
like
a point guard.
We're Durant and we're Durant and Lillard.
We have more point
guards
guards than USA, though.
Absolutely.
Well, people but I think you were onto something, so I want you to finish that thought.
I mean, I thought Batum looked like he's in pretty good shape, which I think is going to get some Heat fans interested in that again when we talk about free agency. And then, of course, he'll get the bag, and then he'll,
Exactly.
it'll be a McDonald's bag. Because he'll put on the weight again. But I thought he looked pretty good today. I don't know.
Nobody cares about Nick Batum because he's going to be out of shape as soon as he gets paid, Ethan.
Well, I just said that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we all know that.
Okay.
We know. I just aggregated what you just said.
Okay, go ahead.
Evan Massey. No, you're hosting now. I just told you I'm giving up the ball, bro.
I don't even know. Brady, take it. That's it. We're going to...
No, I will say, I think another thing they should do, if you think back to past USA teams, they played into transition way more than this team does.
Yeah.
Like, they're just settling into half-court offense every single play, which is not made for them. You have Zach LaVine's. You have these guys that can, fire up a team. You got to run the ball and throw it out into transition, like especially when you have Bam as the guy under the rim that can make that pass and that outlet every single play. It just feels like it's just too clear what they need to do.
So true. Was there one alley-oop in this game?
No,
I mean,
don't
like,
think
when
so.
have we watched Team USA play and they don't have like a dunk contest like for like a half court alley oop? Like, that's just customary. Like, it's just bizarre. Like, they got to create forced turnovers. But Brady's onto something with that. Like, it's just a weird roster.
I think that's more to do with the team's defense than the offense. Like, it's like you said, they don't have that defensive stop on the wing or anybody who can cause that level of chaos to get them out in transition to get easy buckets. Or maybe they do. He's just not playing up to it right now.
Royal, couldn't they have used like a more of a like to that point, like if you're gonna get a role player, why not take like a Robert Covington or somebody who's more of a, you know what I'm saying, like somebody who's gonna play the passing lanes and kind of energize that stuff. I don't see. What was the need for their last 2 picks? Like, the JaVale McGee, Keldon Johnson thing? Like, why? Like, I don't.
Neither is going to play. Neither is going to play. And we were scratching our head at it before you jumped on. Because we were talking about your point. They could have used a Duncan Robinson on that last possession.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who if you get him an open look, has a more than good chance of making it, as opposed to settling for a Drew Holiday corner 3. I mean, which was a good shot considering how he was playing, but that's not the guy you want taking that shot in those high leverage moments. And I don't think they have somebody other than the big stars who they can trust to do that.
Bro, haven't they always had one? I feel like they've always had one like pure shooting specialist on the squad. Like
even on the Redeem team, they had Michael Redd.
Right.
That's true.
Right. So they always have one, but no, did they have one in 2016?
I'm gonna look at the roster, but I'm pretty sure they always take one. They always take one like elite, like.
But I mean, Devin Booker, like,
and then
he's supposed to be that, right?
That's what I mean. Like, some of it, I know that there's a little bit of we're overreacting, and it's based on the fact that they lost during the exhibition games, and then they lose this game too. So you like start to, it adds up. But like, if they shoot better, they probably escape today. But it just magnifies all the stuff that's wrong.
I got Ben in the comments at 20. Oh no,
I don't think Bradley Beal would have made a difference, right? No.
I got Ben in the comments said 2016 had Klay Thompson.
They need Tyler Hero.
On that note, I think we should end this. We've been going too long already in the morning time. So thanks to our sponsors, Biscayne Bay Brewing, Manscaped, Prize Picks. Use the promo code 5. I don't know who all you want me to use on this show. It doesn't matter. Make sure you check us out. I will do another post game show. I don't know if any of these guys are going to be up after that 12:40 game, but I'll get on here with whoever is available.
I don't think you're letting me on again. I think that's what you're actually saying.
Listen, boss man. I need to learn to play this role. I'm trying to get back on 5 on the floor, and I tell people that I can't do it because we're going to do this on the show. Like we.
No, you know what? You know what? We're gonna have you on this week, right,
Yeah.
Greg?
Let's do it.
You're on this week. In fact,
Today.
I think you can do it today because Alex has already given me the "I was up all night" text, which I know what that means. So
Yeah, just have your people call my people.
My people are your people. All right, you can close it. Brady, get on that Iranian research.
Play the video, Manny. Play the video, Manny.
Come on, Manny, let's go.